Namaste, cheeky trees out there, and welcome to your Monday flow with me. So, I hope you guys are doing okay wherever you are in the world, and thank you for coming together to move. So, today we are going to be heating things up a little bit and stirring up a bit of energy. So, I'm not sure about you, but I have a feeling we might all be in a fairly similar boat in there's a lot of sort of sitting around, languishing. um, so this sequence is to cure that restlessness in the arms and legs and give ourselves a bit more of a feeling of dynamics through the body. So that you might find today is a little bit more strengthening than usual, maybe slightly more energetic. So do take really good care of yourselves as always, and when in doubt, just make your movement a little bit smaller or just come and take rest if something doesn't feel quite right to you. Okay, so we're going to get started in standing, feet roughly hips distance apart, whatever feels like it supports you. And you might be at the front of your mat here, but I'll just face you for a moment. Good. So let's just take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and just out of the mouth. And I want you to feel how that little push of your exhale creates a feeling of release in the chest and maybe even the shoulders. We're going to do that one more time. Big breath in. Good. Creating an even deeper bridge of release. Let's take the knees into a small bend. And just use your strength in the torso with loose arms to take that little windmill side to side. So I want you to feel like this can be really easy going. There's a few stretches to feel on the way around. A slight twist, a slight shoulder stretch. And then if it suits you, add in an even bigger breath. Give yourselves a good wallop. And let this movement sort of slow itself down. And as you come to stand, just for a moment, take your hands up and just set them around the height of your lungs. And just observe how we can soften the palms of the hands and the jaw. How we can soften the eyeballs, backs of the eyes. And for 2 more breaths, just keep the eyes closed, keep the breath nice and full. See if you can think a little deeper into the space behind your closed eyes. So just noticing how it feels to be inside your body. Good, so as we breathe in, take a little length through your spine. As you breathe out, relax your shoulders and arms. So we're going to start to move our weight into our right foot and pick up your left knee. So if balancing isn't your jam today and you want to just take yourself near a wall, that's fine. Left knee towards the chest, and we're just going to rotate that ankle. You might already feel quite a nice stretch through the back and through the hip here. So we've already started bringing energy into your standing leg, and we're going to inhale and start to take the arms up and step your floating foot behind you into high lunge. So see how lightly you can land the back toes. Set your hips and shoulders really nice and evenly forwards if you can. And make this a bit smaller if there's some tightness you're dealing with. You can go a little deeper into the knee at the front if you're comfortable too. Keep rising through the spine. See if you can draw your shoulders slightly down and take another deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're just going to sweep the hands forwards and then either side of your hips, lengthening your head forwards. So you've almost got these locust wings either side of you. Just feel how we're adding in a bit of extra energy coursing through that right quad, right hip, and the feet. Soften the jaw. So we're going to start to move our weight into the front foot. Let your left foot bounce forwards until we can pick up warrior three, left foot behind you, finding a moment to float. Feel that even more energy start to float through that right leg, right hip. Inhaling, start to gently lift the chest. If you need to step on the ground on your way through, that's fine. Otherwise, we're repeating. Left knee to the chest. Ankle rotation. High lunge, big breath, left foot steps back. Squared hips and chest, shoulders low. Find a full breath. Next inhale, rise. Next exhale, sweep the hands either side of the hips. Feel the extra energy there. Last breath. This time we're going to come back to your high lunge, rising the arms. And just set your elbows slightly wide so you're in this kind of cactus formation, cartoon cactus. And here we're just going to try and keep your hips and thighs at that same distance as you let your back knee almost come to the ground and then back up. So we're starting to energize the back thigh and hip more. Another time, left knee comes towards the ground and then back up. We're going to add in some arms as we repeat. Exhale, elbows drop either side of your spine, slightly lean back, hands together in front of you, prayer position above the head. One more time. As we exhale, let's let ourselves gently and with strength land that back knee, releasing on a half monkey. So hips are trying to draw back so we can just relax and stretch this right leg. Toes might be up to the ceiling. Careful of overlocking that right knee, put a micro bend in there. And release the head, 2 more breaths. Feel like you're gently drawing back your sit bones to get that extra millimeter of space. Good, bringing breath in, let's move forwards and start to take your right foot slightly out. So it's just going to wiggle until it may be on the edge of the mat, toes slightly turned out and your knee following that so your hips draw a little bit open. Left hand just wide of your left shoulder, opening up your chest with your right arm. Big breath in, big breath out. We're going to take another 3 breaths. If you're happy on the knee, that's great. Otherwise, we're coming off and we're using your right hand to just come and visit the underarm of your left arm. Maybe like you're trying to grab something off your left shoulder and then open back out. Exhale under, tickle your left shoulder under the armpit and back out. One more time. Right hand, left shoulder and back out. Exhaling, release the hands under the shoulders, lift the hips gently. And we're going to rock to step your left foot forwards. Good. Exhale, just allow your feet to wiggle in, heel, toe, heel, until they're underneath each hip bone again, really aligned. Drop the head in your forwards folds. 3 deep breaths, maybe the hands are coming to the opposite elbows here on your raggy doll. On your next breath, just release the arms, bend the knees slightly, and we're breathing in to start this roll up. Heavy arms, heavy head. Take your time almost looking towards the belly button until you're in standing, and then head and neck, the last things to come up. Feel that moment of bringing your focus into the feet, into the breath. Left foot's going to start to energize, right knee towards you. Again, if you need to, you can grab a wall here. Rotate that right ankle, breathe to lengthen, and notice the energy in that left leg. We're going to start to step back with your right foot as we rise both arms. High lunge. See how slowly and controlled you can land that. Breathing in with square hips, square chest to the front of the mat. Strengthen and find your depth in that today. It might be a little lower or a bit sort of mellower. Breathing in, and then on the next breath out, let's find a sweep of the arms forwards and either side of your hips. Feel that extra rush in the left quad, left hip, in the feet. Soften the jaw. We're going to start to strengthen the front leg, lighten the back leg to find your warrior three as a little hopping bounce. It doesn't have to be a long time held here, just find a moment of stability over the hips and try and breathe. I'm going to start to lift the chest and repeat. You can come to the ground with your feet first if you need. Inhale, right shin towards your chest, rotate the ankle. Right foot behind you, arms rising out of the hips at hips distance. Strengthening, noticing the balance in the body. Next breath in, rise. Next breath out, sweeping the hands forwards on either side of the hips, feeling the extra rush in your left hip. Softening the jaw. Next breath in, come back to your high lunge. As we exhale, take those elbows a little wide at right angles, so you're this kind of cartoon cactus. As we exhale, we're going to slightly bend your back knee, as if you're trying to meet the ground slowly, but then we come back up. So we're actually kind of transferring more energy to that back quad now. And again. And two more times, this time add in the arms. Lift, exhale, empty and open, draping elbows either side of your chest and then forwards, prayer position. One more time, empty, open, elbows drape, in and up, prayer position. Exhale slowly, we're going to land that right knee to the ground. Do it really slow. And exhale, we're going to sculpt those hip bones back and relax that left hamstring as we stretch. Kind of lead with your chest first, then drop the head. Protect your left knee by just keeping a bit of energy in there, not overly locking that, especially if you're hypermobile. Soft jaw, two more breaths. Breathing in, let's come forwards. Take your left foot slightly wide, maybe on the outer edge of the mat with the toes slightly out. And the knee is going to try and follow those toes, so the hips in this slightly open space. Right hand under your right shoulder or slightly outside of that shoulder. Whatever feels good, just feel it out. Inhale, opening the chest. Left arm lifts. So you're in a slight twist here in your lizard, dragon. As you breathe in and out, you might stay here, or we're lifting the back knee for more energy, and we're going to reach under your right armpit. Find something on your right shoulder and then just bring that back open. And then again, exhale. So you're really rotating the rib cage, the shoulders, strengthening that right shoulder. Let's take one more. When you're ready, hands underneath the shoulders to lift the hips gently. So we're going to do as before, rock to step your right foot outside your right hand. You can take your raggy doll forward fold, or if you prefer and you are feeling comfortable, feet slightly turned out, to duck the hips down and see if you can find your malasana squat, your yogic squat. Hands together inside the thighs, pressing a little bit wide here. Trying to stay equal, especially through the frame of the hips and shoulders. softening the jaw. 3 deep breaths. And I like to put a little sway in here. Keeps a feeling of ventilation in the body. But however feels good for you. Let's meet in ragdoll, hands relax, tailbone lifts, heel toe, heel under those hip bones again. Really nice forward fold, hands to elbows. Then you'll relax the arms and again just put that roll up through your next in-breath. Slowly, slowly taking your time. Head and neck, the last things to come up. Feeling your feet and hopefully feeling a kind of balance tingle through the legs. Full breath in, full breath out. Okay, so we're going to inhale here. Start to rise to your tiptoes with the arms at your shoulder distance, rising. And then as you exhale, come to the heels and just put a little bend in the knees, hands either side of your hips. So we're going to speed this up. Breathe in and up, out and back. In and up, out and back. And you might find that you sort of wobble a little bit. So go as fast as you need to. I want you to feel your core sort of in control of this movement. And again, we're trying to get rid of anything restless. So let your breath express that. 2 more. 1 more. Slowly come all the way up to your tiptoes again. Breathe out. Stay, breathe in. Breathe out. Stay, breathe in. Exhale, open the arms, shoulders low. Find your feet all the way down to the heels. Full breath in, we're going to step your left foot back. Find warrior, right set of toes pointing forward, left out to the side. And just get into that space that you know feels like you. So the knee always above the ankle or behind it, never beyond. Notice if your tailbone is sticking out, just draw that under and try to rise your mid-body as we separate the arms. 2 big breaths. Breathing in, start to turn your right foot towards the left, prasarita. We're going to drop the right arm as we lift the left until you catch your opposite shoulders. Breathing in, lift the elbows. Breathing out, slightly tap the elbows towards your belly button. And again, elbows towards the belly button, dropping your gaze. As we take 2 more, you might go into your deeper eagle bind, or you might stay at the shoulders. This time, breathe in, lift the elbows, lengthen from the hip bones this time to fold in your prasarita, eagle arms, dropping the head nice and heavy. Notice where the stretch on the shoulders is, back of the heart. If you need to, unravel the hands early. We're taking 2 breaths more. Bending into the knees, we're coming back up the way we came down, all the way up, opening the arms. And then as a nice relief to that last arm position, turn your right toes forwards. Bring your chest forwards, arms open to your sides. And we're trying to sculpt the thumbs and the fingers behind us to open the chest. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen forwards. It doesn't have to be all the way inside that right knee. Inhale, warrior. Feel where you want to stay. You can always release those hands early if this gets a bit tight. Or just take nice loose elbows. Last deep breath. Exhale, release the arms. We're going to step back to your plank position. And hands under the shoulders as the heels press back and the crown presses forwards. If this is a little tough, knees are on the ground, otherwise we're here and we're just going to exchange your weight into your right hand, lifting your left, and then the other side. You might tap your shoulder each side. Good, and just feel the energy that courses through each shoulder. Good, last 2 and 1. Exhaling, you can draw the knees down first. We'll take a vinyasa here. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back over child's pose or straight through to down dog. As you reach that down dog, even though we've stretched the legs a bit, you might still want to pedal a little bit, wriggle into a more equal feeling. Hips, back, calves. Take a deep breath in, out of the mouth. And then inhale, let's look towards the hands. Let's take a few steps or a big step to the front of the mat. Exhale to fold deeply. This time take a small bend in the knees and rise the arms to your sides, opening up as we come to stand. Prayer position above the head, drifting to the chest. We're going to lift the right foot, step it back, find your warrior 2. Same feeling, you might not always land where you wanted to. Feel free to shuffle the feet around. Right toes out to the side, left toes forwards, the knee on top or behind the ankle. Arms open here, lifting through the vertebrae, tucking the tailbone slightly under. Big breath or 2. When you're ready, start to bring your left foot around to your right side in Prasarita. This time, the left arm's going low, the right arm's going to go high until we catch our shoulders. Inhale, lift the elbows slightly, it doesn't have to be a lot. Tap them slightly. We're going to do this 4 times total. Breathe in and lift, breathe out and tuck. So you might repeat at this position or deepen the arms into a bind. When you're ready, nice level elbows, this time coming down from your hips, so a nice long fortified spine, strong legs. Allow yourself to lengthen, drop the head. And you can even bend the knees or release the arms early if something isn't suiting you today. 2 big breaths. Strengthen the legs, we're coming up the way we came down. Inhale. Unravel, open. We're turning your left toes back towards the front of the mat. So you're kind of returning to the same position in the legs. We're going to sculpt the chest forwards, bringing the hands together behind you. Feel the stretch on the inner arms. Open the chest, squeeze the shoulders. Breathing in, humble warrior, breathing out. So you can always release the hands early or not fold so deeply here. Or just keep a nice open, loose elbow. Both elbows nice and loose. Try and relax the head a bit more. Lift the hands slightly more away from the head. And then we're going to exhale and release. Hands towards the ground. Back to your plank position. This time let's come down onto the knees and then onto the belly. Find Shalabhasana, hands either side of the hips, lifting feet, chest and arms. So you're in touch with your core strength, your root strength and the back muscles. 2 more of your warmest breaths. So try to create that steam kettle sound. And then hands under the shoulders, let's lift the chest. Let your feet relax and draw yourself back through child's pose or straight to your down dog. So this next bit is optional. Well, it's all optional. But you might need to just come to the knees for a moment and just watch what I'm doing. So we're going to strengthen the hands. If it suits you to just sort of wriggle and stay in your down dog, that's great. Otherwise, you might just take a little bunny hop. So you're just going to bend the knees, press the ground away as we just try to kick our bum. So again, we're just looking for a slight kick of energy, a little woohoo. One more time. Good. Let's meet in down dog. If that wasn't your bag today, just really stay with your feeling, child pose or down dog. So when you're ready, we're looking gently towards the hands, and we're either going to step or jump to cross legs. Good. As you find your cross legs position, you might find you want a little release for the hands. Turning the palms face up, fingers facing each other. Little wrist stretch, breathing in and softly out. Inhale. Sitting up tall, take your hands to interlace. Turn them inside out, stretch the fingers. Inhale. Exhale, release to your sides. Keep your right hand on the ground. Inhale, we're going to lift the left fingertips up and overhead. And then just bounce it to your other side for your side stretch. Left hand to the floor, right arm up and overhead. One more time on each, in and out. Breathing in here. On your left side, breathing out, just gently fold forward. So your right hand's trying to reach diagonally towards the left top corner of the mat. If that's a bit strong, just bring your hands closer to you. Inhale, come up the way you came down, so we open through side stretch, bounce over to your right side, where we're going to do the same thing. Fold diagonally, so your left hand reaches for the right top corner of the mat. Dropping the head, or making this smaller if it's not feeling quite right. Breathing in. Next time we're going to walk the hands into the center of the mat. And I want you to pick up that roll up one last time, this time just in your seated pose. Feel your tailbone. Feel each vertebrae rising you up towards seated pose. Shoulders nice and low. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, just bringing your left ear towards your left shoulder in a small neck stretch. Nothing forceful. Exhale, center, chin to chest, and to the other side. So we're just drawing a half circle very softly. Forwards, visiting each shoulder. When you're ready, chin to chest, and then lifting back up level. Full breath in, let's bring the knees up. Feet at hips distance apart to take a little cat-cow. Rounding, lifting, inhale. So almost imagine that the heart is leading both, the back of the heart leads you back. And then we're trying to rise the heart. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, this time as you round, making sure you have enough room behind you to gently come down. Arms wide to your sides, feet flat to the ground. Let's allow this little windscreen wiper movement, both knees to your left, center, both knees to your right, center. And let yourself do a few more, maybe the eyes already are closed. And you're appreciating the twist, the glute stretches, the glute massage, and the rest of the chest and the head. When you're ready, bring the knees up to center. Take your feet off the ground. Let's squeeze the shins. Feel like you're pressing your back into the mat to land. Feet and hands into the air. And let's just take one last restless cure. And just rotate everything. Rotate ankles, rotate wrists. So we're flamencoing with the hands and the feet. And we're wriggling fingers, toes. And then maybe just shake everything out. So everything's kind of wobbly. And try to create a vibration that almost drums into your mat, into the ground. Give yourself 2 more breaths. Last one. Inhale to stretch. Exhale to let those arms and legs go heavy all the way to the ground. Savasana. Feel these last few breaths together as a moment that you've carved out for yourself to just notice yourself. Feel that you could release, almost like you're floating on the surface of a lake. You could release every muscle so we can tune into something more subtle as we let the breath move itself in and gently out. So very, very gently, and start to move our awareness back towards our body. Let the breath carve out a slightly deeper path. Start to wriggle the fingers and the toes. And then gently draw your knees up towards your chest. You take a circle there on the lower back if you need that today. Otherwise, finding your way over, tumbling left into a little ball. Coming up when you're ready. Finding your cross legs or any seated pose that suits you. Nice low shoulders. And let's take the hands to the chest to finish, one on top of the other. Just take your last couple of moments feeling that your breath is full. And we are a little more connected to this moment in our bodies. And honouring that, let's take the hands together and bow to ourselves. Namaste. I hope that you guys are feeling okay and there's energy coursing through the body in a nice way. And I hope to see you next week here or in class. Thanks so much. Ciao.